Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Live Talk with Dr. Choma. For this week, we are going to be talking about something that has been plaguing us everywhere, every day. We wake up one morning and we say, this person, he just slumped and, he died. Nothing was wrong with him. He you know, just fell down and that was it. But the truth is, so many of us, we don't take care of our health so much. And when these things happen, we just say, oh, it's spiritual, it's this. Meanwhile, this could be a little thing that we could have taken care of if we knew. So I'm just going to talk about one of them, which everybody calls the silent killer. I'm sure we all know hypertension. Gone are the days when hypertension is said to be the disease of the elderly. Only old people have hypertension. I'm too young to have hypertension. That is a lie. In these days, we see young people coming down with this disease. And that's not even the worst thing. Because we are young, we tend to assume, oh, it's not going to happen to us. And when it comes with complications. It comes suddenly with something else. Some people have stroke, some people have different things. So we're just going to talk about it today. We're going to talk about how to prevent it. Let's delve into what hypertension is. Hypertension is simply elevated blood pressure. It's just the pressure, the pressure, the blood pressure is the pressure which your heart has to overcome to be able to pump blood into your vessels, right? So if this pressure is high, that means the heart will have to do more work. So it's stressing your heart. Your blood vessels are not, getting the optimal blood they are supposed to get, meaning that your organs are not going to get optimal blood flow. Now, I'm going to talk about myself because when I joined the gym, everyone was asking, why are you joining the gym? Is it you? You're not too fast. Why are you doing this? Why are you doing that? But around that time, I had added weight after my two kids. And what people do not know is that I'm a doctor. I measure my BMI all the time. Some other people might not. So I had already done this and I found out I was obese. To so many people, I will not look obese, but my BMI was over 30. It was 31. So I was obese at that point, but I did not look it, or to ordinary people that might not look obese. The people we think are obese are actually morbidly obese. So that was it. And then my blood pressure was always at 140, 150 over 90. And of course, I have a family history of hypertension. I said I was not going to take it lightly. Like, I'm just 30 and look at my blood pressure is climbing. I'm obese. So I have to do something about it, right? So that was why I hate the gym. I did not hate the gym because it wasn't fashion or it's something, I just want to feel among, but I had these problems. So I decided to take action, right? So I've already told us what hypertension is, and I've told us that in young if you don't search for it, if you don't look for it, it could present in a very bad way. We could see people slumping, having stroke all of a sudden. You understand, it has happened to so many people and it might have happened to someone so this is very important. So we're going to check what are the things. Why is this happening more now? Why is it happening more in young people? Why are more young people in their 30s, less than 30, why are they coming up with hypertension? The truth is, it has to do with our lifestyle. That's why I love lifestyle medicine. These are just things that you can do, little things you can change, things that you can modify in your lifestyle that will improve or enhance your life. Okay, let's first talk about risk factors, because these are the things that are bringing out hypertension in our young people today. First is obesity. I don't know, maybe our parents or for us too, we are actually applying the same thing. We think we are giving our children the good life, we give them some unhealthy things, you know, you give them unhealthy things which are not good for them. So, what is the problem this causes? We are seeing a lot of obese people, obese children. You're exposing these children, you're putting them at risk for hypertension sometime later. It might not even get up to 30 years, and these children will come down with hypertension. Now, I am not saying do not give your children these treats. That's not what I'm saying. All I'm saying is, please, in moderation. Everything should be in moderation, okay? So, it's not okay that a child's 3 square meals has to be pastries. No. Or a child has to eat burger every day. You need to make these things, just give them healthy food and reduce the frequency of this. We can go out some days and take some of these things, but let their main meals always be healthy. In Africa, we have a lot of healthy meals. We have a lot of carbohydrates that are good for our children, that are good for us. There's nothing wrong with our yam. There's nothing wrong with our gari, properly produced gari. There's nothing wrong with them. All you have to do is watch the quantity. That is it. There is no need to feed your child and keep feeding and keep feeding. We are the ones that actually teach our children portion control. You right? You have to say, okay, this is what you're going to eat. Okay, I'll give you meat, I'll give you egg, I'll put vegetables in your food. Some of us don't even bother with vegetables because the children don't like it. You have to find a way to incorporate vegetables in your children's meals. Yes. For me, I have found creative ways. Oh, you're not going to eat your fruit whole. You're going to take a smoothie. Oh, you don't like carrots. I'm going to grate it or blend it into your food. So that way they get things, You cut, oh, you don't like to eat egg whole. I cut it into tiny bits and you get it. So that's it. We just have to be creative, find ways to put these things into our children's food and not, oh, because my baby likes ice cream. Okay, that's all he's going to take. Or my baby likes burger or pizza. That's all they're going to take because you don't want them to starve. No. Find creative ways to make these meals. And I'm sure if you search online, you can see a lot of creative ways to make your food. Then another thing, we are so involved in sedentary lifestyle. First of all, our work has moved from outside to inside. A lot of people, they work in offices. Some of us, we even work remote. That means we can't be on our bed and work. I mean, we can sit around in the house and work, take meetings and all that, right? So most of us, we don't even step outside. And this has gotten to our children too, because now everybody is no longer the community raising children. So you have to stay in your own house, fenced and everything. The children have to stay inside. You don't want them outside. You don't want them roaming about. It's not our fault. Sometimes it's not our fault. The security situation might be a problem. You don't want your children outside roaming, running around. So you keep them in. They are playing inside. They are playing with their phones. They don't go outside. They don't run around. They don't get to play. They don't get to run around, expend energy. The ones they are doing in school, they might not be enough because they have playground. But how many minutes do they spend there? Some days they don't even go. And when they come home, you still lock them inside. They don't get to play. All they play is they watch TV, they play video games and all that. So what is this happen? That means we are not moving. There is less physical activity. For us as parents, we are just working. We sit at work. Some of us don't stand up. Some of us, when we get to offices, we use the lift. We don't even bother taking the stairs. Some of us, we drive to the office. So we see that we spend almost every waking moment seated, lying down, not engaging in any physical activity. It is not good for your heart. It is not good for your blood vessels. So we need to incorporate more physical activity. Yes, some places, some workplaces have, some policies where you work, you get up, and walk around for a while. But we have to be more intentional about this, not just for us, for our children. You understand? Back then, people used to go to the farms. They used to engage in physical activities, but that's not the case now. So for you to do that, you have to be intentional. You have to be very intentional. So some of us, we just go to the gym and you don't move our body. By the time you do that for 30 minutes, you're sweating, your heart is pumping, it's getting used to physical activity. If you live in a gated estate, beautiful, you can take your walks and do all that. So please, we need to be intentional. So the second risk factor that we talked about now, sedentary lifestyle. Then, in this day and age, it's just so unfortunate that a lot of us, a lot of young people from a very young age, they are engaging in alcohol intake. I don't know. Alcohol is not good for anything. It's not good for your body in any way. I'm not saying do not take alcohol, but please, not in excess, because some of us, yeah, we do alcohol, we do wine here and there, but not in excess. So excessive alcohol intake is another risk factor. Then we come to smoking, nicotine, or any kind of smoke, shisha, anything. It is not good for your heart. It's not good for your blood vessels. It makes them thick. It makes your blood vessels thick. And when the blood vessels are thickened, what does it mean? That means the heart has to overcome a higher pressure in order to pump blood to your organs, increasing your blood pressure. Then what do we talk about? The pandemic of drug abuse. That is another risk factor. We see a lot of drugs these days. I don't even know their names. It's so unfortunate that there are so many. There are so many that youths are engaged in these days. These things are weakening your blood vessels. These things are weakening your heart. They're weakening your organs. I keep wondering why people really go get into these drugs. Yes, we can talk about mental stress and all the stress all of us go into. But you need to, with all that stress too, we need to be able to make good decisions for our bodies and for our health. So drug abuse is another risk factor. Then we have family history. A lot of us, we have family history of hypertension, because hypertension is commoner in blacks than it is in other races. So we have a lot of some family members with hypertension. But what does that mean? That means that you need to watch out. If you know you have a family history, what does it mean? You have to be more careful than the average person. You have to be more careful. That is not a time to let yourself get obese. No. It's not a time to, engage in less physical activity or live a sedentary lifestyle. It's not a time to let yourself go and eat anything you like. It's not a time to increase your alcohol intake. No. Family history means you have to be careful, right? So that way, if you have a family history, you need to take all these things we are saying seriously. Okay, you need to take them seriously. Watch yourself so that you will not because your father might have developed it when he was 60. With all these pressures that we have in this day and age, it might come earlier for you. So please, you need to watch it. Another thing we need to talk about is some other illnesses. Some other illnesses are risk factors for hypertension. Illnesses like diabetes, illnesses like renal disease, kidney issues, and then some hormonal issues like thyroid problems. They are risk factors. They could give rise to hypertension. Then another thing a lot of us do, a lot of us suffer from, that could bring hypertension closer, is stress. Now, stress does not mean that, you're walking around too much. No, that's not stress. Stress means you're actively engaged in something. Some of us work, we are sitting down, but we work from, in fact, some of us don't sleep. When it's time to sleep, what are you doing? You're seeing a movie or you're doing something else. You don't let your body shut down to reboot, to rest. That means your body is active when your body is supposed to be resting. So at this point, you see, sometimes when you don't sleep throughout the night and you check your BP the next morning, you might see that it's elevated. Now imagine sustaining that lifestyle for over a long period of time. What do you think is happening to your heart? What do you think is happening to your blood pressure? So these are some of the risk factors that we see in young people these